You said your mind works faster under pressure. In what ways is that evident to you?
Things are happen on stage that do not happen anyplace else in life. You don't even feel your feet when you're on stage. You don't feel your body. You know, you're kind of in hyperspace. The brain is sped up because you're in a fight or flight condition. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a very moment-to-moment survival environment, which is what makes it so addictive. You know, it's very adrenaline fueled. I mean, it's like emergency room stuff, you know? It's like SEAL Team 6, you know? Many, many years of doing comedy. I was talking to a comedian friend of mine the other day. We're talking about how comedians handled the pandemic so easily. It was no problem because our entire life is being thrown into situations and going, figure it out right now. And so even though the pandemic was 2 years long, curveballs is like, that's your whole life is a curveball.
I think it's 1993, Adam Sandler's opening for you in Boston. You start a bit and somebody yells from the crowd, mm-hmm. and how does it affect you?
I had this amazing bit about weddings. It was like, it was fantastic. It was so long, it covered everything. It was a great bit, and I worked on it, and I love developing and polishing every little detail of a bit. So it takes me forever.
Sometimes years.
Years. I was talking to Chris Rock yesterday, and he was telling me about his last special. He said, I had 3 jokes in there that I've worked on for over 10 years. And people don't understand that about comedy. What could take 10 years, you know? But it can if you're obsessive and perfectionist. So anyway, so I start into the bit, and somebody yells, "Heard it," you know, and that was a tough one. I still think about it.
Really?
Yeah, it was like it was mean, it was true, but you know, I think now audiences are a little more sophisticated. That yeah, these are pieces that we work on for months and months and months. You don't do it once, and it works. You know, every scene you see in a movie, they did that 18 times. That was the one time it was good. That's what's in the movie. You don't see the other 17. Same with comedy. I've done this bit 100 times, and now I've got it right.
But in fairness to you, even if you're performing a couple shows in the same night at the Beacon Theater, 40% of the material could be different show to show.
Most of it's the same, yeah.
What did the George Burns book teach you?
Love this business, love it. Appreciate, enjoy it. It's the greatest thing in the world. Be happy. Be happy that you're doing this. And that's something you should know, or that would be automatic, that would be natural. But it's not, because you get stressed over the anxiety and where am I at, and this person's doing better than me, and all the frailties and foibles of being human.
What about on the writing front, though?
Well, he had this routine where he would write 2 hours every day with writers, and they would work on material for his act or whatever he had coming up. And I thought, oh, so you have a regular routine of creating material. This piece of information, this discipline or this understanding, I was doing it, I would say, maybe 8 months, maybe a year, when I realized, oh, this is all about writing. This whole racket is writing. And if you don't become a real writer, creating new material every single day, you're going to get wasted like that. I saw it happen to a guy who was on The Tonight Show, and he was a smash hit, his first show. Then he came back to do a second one. It's 6 minutes an appearance in those days. To do 6 great minutes on The Tonight Show, walking out as a complete unknown, and to kill them in 6 minutes, you need about 40 minutes of material that you're doing in a nightclub. That will distill down to 6. So then they want him to come back in 3 months, do another 6. So he takes another 6. So his first 6 is the best 6, right? Of course. And then the next 6 wasn't as good. And then he came back a third time, struggled, and he was gone. And that's when I went, oh, I see what's going on here. Now I see what this is. This is something that it's write or die.
On the day you write something, why will you not talk to somebody on that day about what you wrote?
Because you don't want to damage the accomplishment that you did your work that day. You will feel good that you did your work. And you always want to support that motivation. And if you think of something and you think, hey, I think this is good, and you tell someone, 99% they're not gonna react the way you want.
And this is despite the fact that you yourself will heavily critique your work.
That's right. That doesn't do you much good. I don't judge the work. The audience does. They edit the work. I tell them, here are my 10 ideas.
Yeah.
They tell me, you got 2 good ones out of that. And you go, oh, okay.
But if you like some of the other ideas, that's when you'll continue working.
I will fight them sometimes. I had a bit about poker that they hated. And I got mad about it.
What do you mean you got mad about
It
it?
made me mad. I actually did it on television before it was ready, and it bombed. And I got so mad, and then I thought, first of all, why did you do that on television? It wasn't ready, and it bombed, and I don't know. These are the ways in which I indulge myself. I believe in indulging yourself. I like to indulge myself in certain self-resentments and frustrations and go, you know what? I really suck at that. I'm going to get great at that.
Did it eventually work?
It did, but it took 2 years. It's about how I think poker is a horrible thing. You know, the mood in this room is horrible. Why are we trying to get our friends' money? These are our friends. Why would we want their money? So, you know, it was kind of a subtle thing, but I wanted to express that. I wanted people to understand how I see this. Yes, your hand's better than my hand. We shuffled the cards. All the hands are different. Of course, some are better than others. We mixed the cards up. What is the victory here? So, you know, that's my perspective on poker.
Why will you sometimes count the syllables?
Oh, it's the timing, music. You have to, you're attacking someone's brain it's very much a martial art where you want to get it into a vulnerable state, attack it, and destroy it. Comedy is a very aggressive art form. But, you know, I was just working on this bit about artificial intelligence and calling it intelligence or smartness, you know. It's like songwriting, you know, words have a feel. They give you a feeling, they have a sound, they have an edge. And you're always seeking that, you know, Bruce Lee used to talk about that 1-inch punch, right? It was just 1 inch like that into the chest, you know, and comedy's like that. You're looking for that thing that just, it has to hit. It has to have punctuation and rhythm and flow. And comedy, when it's good, the audience they don't even know what's happening. You know, you start a set and you don't even know it, and you catch the right rhythm, and it's over.